Bitcoin broke a very important level of support, and on today's update video I'm gonna be exactly discuss what this means for the Bitcoin price action right now, because today is going to be an extremely volatile day, because today is the FOMC meeting. I'm gonna be exactly talk about what this means, the most important news that currently has happened in the market. I'm gonna give a deep dive into towards what is happening with Bitcoin, where the liquidity is currently laying in the market, what is happening in the background, and much more important stuff here about Ethereum and much more. So without any further ado guys, today's video will be extremely important to be watching. I will give a huge update on my trading positions where I'm currently still in here, and yeah, with that being said, don't forget to slap with the like button back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated, and let me jump straight away in towards the content. So yesterday we were looking of course at this consolidation phase. Bitcoin however did broke below the upward sloping support line, but we haven't seen significantly a big dump towards the downside. However, right now we are going to be retesting the previous support line into resistance, and if we see a big rejection, we're most likely going to be moving lower. The speech of Jerome Powell here, is he going to be dovish? Is he going to be hawkish? What is he has to say about Bitcoin? What has he in general has to say about the economy? So that is why I will be live streaming this exact event later today here. You can already go towards my YouTube page, press on the live, and then already enable your notifications for this upcoming live stream, because it is going to be extremely important. But however, Bitcoin is still indeed on this time frame breaking down here, but on many other patterns it's still just in this exact consolidation phase. And if we're going to compare what Bitcoin has done right now here compared to the last few days here, it actually hasn't done so much here. Bitcoin is still very boring, still going sideways, nothing really doing right now here. Well, on some other time frames we're still creating a falling wedge pattern. So in my opinion, if we still can be breaking above the very important downward sloping resistance line, it can still potentially move higher. But for me, all in all, I'm very curious on how it's going to be reacting to the FOMC meeting, because this is probably where the major volatility is going to be coming. So that is going to be extremely important. And on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin is still holding historical support line. And like I said in yesterday's video and in previous videos as well here, whenever Bitcoin does break below this historical support line here, I do really think we could start to call it a bear market, and we could be in for an even bigger dump towards the downside. So it's going to be extremely important to watch that level. Then also on the daily time frame, we can see that of course Bitcoin first of all had a major rally towards the upside, then somewhat of a double top structure, and now it is coming down here. And what we want to be looking for a reversal structure is of course either previous big levels of resistance that now is going to be flipping into support, which will be laying around 71 to 73,000 US dollars. So that could be a level where we could start to look for a reversal on Bitcoin. Or either we have to see somewhat of a momentum divergence or a momentum shift on the daily time frame. And if I'm going to be looking at the momentum shift, I'm going to be looking of course at the MACD here. I mean, what we are seeing right now here is a very interesting divergence. I mean, we're starting to see of course that the price action is forming a lower low, MACD is forming a higher low. So we're seeing that basically the sellers are getting more and more exhausted. And of course exactly the same is happening on the RSI. We're creating a higher low on the RSI while the price action is creating a lower low. So ultimately that is a very great signal which we're right now getting. It does really show us that somewhat of the sellers are quite exhausted. So yeah, yesterday as well, BlackRock started to be buying significant amounts of Bitcoin again here. I mean, previously around, they have sold for 2 consecutive weeks aggressive amounts of Bitcoin, and now yesterday they finally bought over $280 million worth of Bitcoin. So that is ultimately a very great development which we're currently getting in the market. And yeah, there has been also a lot of other interesting stories happening in the market, because yesterday also North Carolina proposed a bill for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So more and more states in the United States of America are filing for these strategic Bitcoin reserves, and it's only a matter of time before all these states have their own reserve here. But of course it will take some time here, but there is very great developments happening right now here, and ultimately this will cause the price action to go higher. And I mean, Cathie Wood, the bull of ARK Invest of course, is saying Bitcoin will go to $1.5 million by 2030. Personally, I think that is a little bit too high, but with all these developments, I do really think that $500,000 is quite a realistic target. So even though if Bitcoin goes to $500,000 from this point, it is a significant increasement in a matter of 4 or 5 years, and Bitcoin is really a longer term investment, and that is why I'm so excited about it. So really, I am holding most of my Bitcoin for the long term to create life-changing wealth. And then also yesterday, Trump and Putin had a major meeting with each other to, of course, stop the war in Ukraine here. And yeah, there's been a great talk here between Putin and Trump here, and it looks to be that they want to work together here. So ultimately, once again, great developments happening. And if there's going to be peace, there's going to be ultimately super bullish for the markets. Then also, we got, of course, Trump, its executive director, saying that he wants to accumulate as much Bitcoin as he possibly can here. But of course, like I said about the strategic Bitcoin reserve, there are some bills that first have to be passed. So it will take some time before this will be happening. But still, I am super excited for all these developments which are currently happening. Then also, even more bullish news here, guys. It's insane. There's so much news here coming out here. But MicroStrategy will be issuing 5 million more shares to buy even more Bitcoin. And of course, they already own about 500,000 Bitcoin, but they are not stopping here. And then, of course, like I said earlier, tonight will be the FOMC meeting. I will be live streaming this event here. So don't forget to turn on the notifications on my YouTube page already if you go to the live page right here. So that is going to be, of course, extremely exciting. Then I want to quickly give a small little update about my trade here. I mean, both my Bitcoin and Ethereum trade are both in a significant profit right now here. I mean, they're doing slight little profits. And of course, it's all about the long term also with this grid trading bot here. I mean, I've already explained in many videos before what they are exactly doing, but I also set up my Ethereum bot right now here. But basically what it will be doing, it will be accumulating along the way down here, and it will distributing my position along the way up here. So if you're interested in this as well here, don't forget to go to the highest link description of today's video. You can copy my Ethereum or Bitcoin strategy exactly the same here. And basically what it will do, it will buy Ethereum along the way down and sell it along the way up here to maximize your profit. If you feel like you want to be making your own strategy, you can also do so by signing up an account using the highest link below, because then you will get a free $1,000 for signing up an account here. So make sure to check it out here. You can either set up your own trading bot with your own parameters, or you can copy my trading bots that are currently already doing an amazing job here. So very excited for this here. Very great strategy in my opinion. And also, if you're just looking at the bigger perspective, Bitcoin could potentially create a local bottom right here. And of course, still, if we do break below that legendary support line, like I stated many times before already, I do really believe we could be in for some more trouble. But as long as that is not happening, we could be in for a significant price rally here. Then quickly going over Ethereum. Yesterday also, Justin Sun staked about 100 million Ethereum. And yeah, that is ultimately a super great development. Then also the will I talked about in yesterday's and the video before. He closed his position and he bought over 3,000 Ethereum with his profits here. So very exciting. The will apparently does know something about Ethereum. And then of course, if you're looking at the bigger perspective on the weekly time frame, Ethereum is sitting at a major level of support here. So I do think that makes a lot of sense that this will is buying Ethereum exactly at this level here. So Ethereum still not doing a lot of interesting stuff here, but ultimately I do believe that on the bigger perspective, it is at a very interesting range here. I mean, I've publicly showed you that I've been accumulating long positions. I have even more disclosed positions that I've not showed you on Ethereum, because I do believe that ultimately we're going to get a very strong bounce from this region for Ethereum. So super excited for that here. But anyways, guys, the market is very boring here. And in these boring periods, a lot of people lose their attention. They go out of the market. Well, actually, these are the most important periods to stay in the market. So congratulations if you're still watching. This is really the time to stick around here. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and see you guys back again tomorrow, or sorry, tonight on the live stream. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out. Goodbye.